Hi, this is Arna from the TARS team, and today I want to briefly discuss the concept of message delays in chatbot conversations. Message delays for the uninitiated are basically the amount of time a chatbot waits before sending the next message in the queue. So, for example, I have this lead generation flow open for a credit card product. If I open up one of these gambits, you will see that we have the bot messages and the user input, but next to the bot messages, you have these green bubbles that have numbers in them. These numbers are the number of seconds the bot is going to wait before it sends the message to the right of that green bubble. So over here, it's going to wait for 1 second, then send nice to meet you. Then it's going to wait for 2 seconds and then send the second message, wait for another 2 seconds, and then send the third message. While the message delay is active, while it's waiting those 2 seconds to send this message over here, it's going to show a typing animation on the screen, just like in a regular chat with an actual human being. Now, you might be wondering why we actually include message delays. Wouldn't it make more sense to just send all the messages in one go so that the user can read everything at once? Why do you want to make them wait? And there are two reasons that we do this. The first one is to make our chatbots feel more human. One of the main value propositions of a chatbot is that they feel a lot more personable, they feel a lot more human than a regular form-based lead capture system. And part of that is adding these tiny little touches to the user experience to make them mimic a human conversation. When you're speaking to your friends or your family, there's always a few seconds that they take to type out their message and send it. And usually messaging apps add a typing animation to indicate that they're there on the other end, they are typing and they're online. We wanted to transfer the same thing over to our chatbots. If a chatbot sent everything in one go too quickly, it wouldn't feel particularly natural, and that would be a dead giveaway that this chatbot is just a piece of software running in the background and it essentially runs the same way as a form, and that would completely undercut the value that you see by using a chatbot. The second reason that we like to include a message delay in our chatbot conversations is a more practical one. And it's just so that the user has enough time to read the previous message before you send the next message. So let me give you an example of this. Over here, I have this exact series of messages open in this chatbot conversation. If I refresh the page, it's going to load one message at a time with the delay. So 1 second, nice to meet you. I had enough time to read that. Now it says to begin with, you need to choose which card to apply for. And then it sends the third message after a couple of seconds where I've had time to read the second message. And then I can read the third message and then decide whether to respond. So there are message delays over there. It gives me time to read a message before the next message shows up. And it feels very natural. It feels very seamless. If I made the message delays way shorter, that would completely change the way the user experience feels. So let's make this third message delay 0.5 seconds. If I hit save, publish chatbot, and then I go here and refresh the page, the first message gets sent, nice to meet you. It says to begin with you, and then before I've even finished the second message, the third message pops up on the screen. Now, this is a distraction as a user because when there's a visual element popping up on the screen, my eyes are immediately going to be drawn to that visual element. And when my eyes are drawn to that third message, I lose where I was in the second message. And then what I need to do is figure out where I was before I got interrupted, and then start reading again. And that's a mild annoyance, but it's a point of friction, and friction causes people to drop. Especially if you're showing your chatbots to thousands of people across a stretch of time, that mild annoyance is going to cause at least a fraction of them, or it's going to contribute to why they're dropping from your page. And you really want to avoid that because your aim with these chatbots is to get more leads and to get more conversions. Now, you might be wondering how you define your message delays. What rule do you use to get the right message delay? There isn't a concrete rule for this. There really isn't one. Different people have different reading speeds. So you really can't figure out how long you should give each user to read the previous message before you send the next message. So all you need to do is pretty much just test. Make your chatbot, play around with it yourself, see if the message delays feel like they're long enough for you. When they feel right for you, share it with other people, share it with your colleagues, share it with your friends, share it with your family, see what they feel about it, see if they think that the message delays are too long or whether the message delays are too short. And if they do, make those adjustments. And if you do that, you generally get a good average of different reading speeds, and that usually results in a set of message delays that aren't too controversial. They're not ones that are going to annoy too many people, given that people have all these different reading speeds, because it's sort of an average. It's sort of a compromise for everyone. I will say though, we do use a specific rule to begin with. So we apply a rule and then we make those testing optimizations on top of that rule. And the rule that we use is for every line of text that we're sending in the next message, we add, for every line we're sending in the previous message, we send 2 seconds of delay in the next message. So for example, over here, we've sent pretty much just 1.5 lines of text over here. So we add 2 seconds of delay to the third message so that people have enough time to read the second message. If I were to double the length of this message over here, I'd make it 4 seconds. So for example, let's go back in here and let's make the text doubly as long. So to begin with, you need to choose which card to apply for, because we need that information at this present moment to give you a quote. Hit the save button, publish. And if we refresh the page over here, you can see that the message delay isn't long enough because the message is now way longer. So we need to adjust the message delay over there to compensate for the fact that this message is much longer now. That's pretty much it for today. I think you guys have a good sense of why message delays are important and how you can arrive at the correct message delay. A lot of testing, maybe have a rule to begin with and optimize on top of that using the testing. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Intercom. We have a widget in the bottom right of our builder where customer support representatives are more than happy to walk you through any doubts that you have with the builder, with message delays. And we highly encourage that you give us feedback on the builder and on these videos, because we love hearing that. We love learning how we can improve this stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you.